Question 4. How did you use media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? During this project, I used various types of media technologies to create my final project. One of the main media technologies I used was Web 2.0. This is the interactive internet. I have used this technology throughout all the stages of production. Through the internet, I use websites such as Outlook.com and Postgres.com. Postgres is a blog site I have set up to show the various stages of my production. This was a good site for organising my coursework because I was able to see which pieces I had completed and which I had not. I was able to post images and videos. This helped because I wanted to make my blog as interactive as possible. On Postgres, I was able to show all the stages of production. Pre-production was when I did all my planning and research for my product. I used the Web 2.0 software Prezi to create my media pitch, which I then presented to the class using a smartboard and projector. To accompany my presentation, I created a survey using fluidsurveys.com. This site allowed me to create a survey and share it with anyone. It also showed me the number of completed surveys and the results. This helped when I needed to collect my data and create charts using onlinecharttool.com. A downside to this site was that only 100 people could complete the survey, but I still felt the answers given were sufficient for my project. As well as using Postgres to post my ideas and work, I use social networking sites Facebook and Twitter to post designs of my ancillary products and draft final projects to gain audience feedback on what could be improved and what worked well. I was familiar with these sites and found it easy to connect with my audience. The problem was gaining actual feedback, as many people just looked and never commented. I felt if I had targeted my audience directly by using a focus group or vox pop, I would have gained more relevant feedback. During my production stage, I used a Canon Mini DV camera to film the footage for my video. I found this hardware easy to use as it was lightweight, which was a bonus when having to carry two around as well as tripods. It was also very straightforward to use, as there are a few buttons including record and playback. I had to capture my footage onto a mini DV tape. This was very simple to use, but when having to move my footage to the computer, I thought it would have been easy to use a digital film recorder. To edit all my footage to create my final project, I used Adobe Premiere Pro CS3. This is a movie editing software. Before this, I was only used to using Windows Movie Maker, and so at first found Premiere confusing, but I quickly got to grips with the software. After I had captured my footage onto Premiere, I was able to edit all my footage. The main tool I used was Razor. This enabled me to crop clips so I had the best possible shots in my video. I found it very easy to place my clips in order on the timeline and to move them around so all the clips flowed easily. This also enabled me to sync the clips of the band performing with the audio. Getting an exact lip sync was difficult, but I feel this was achieved. On all the video, I placed a black and white effect. We did this because we thought it represented the stereotypical moodiness which is associated with the indie rock genre. Originally, we were just going to have our performance shots in black and white, but after the lighting on narrative clips wasn't right and made the clips look red, we decided to put the effect on all the clips. We felt the darkness of the clips helped create our main girl's mood. When taking the images for my ancillary project, I used a Canon 400D digital SLR camera. I was fairly familiar with this technology as I had used it for my AS coursework, but I was still unsure on how to change the aperture on the camera. This was thankfully quickly resolved. I used Adobe Photoshop CS5 when editing the images. I have had a little experience with this software because of the use of it in my AS project, but I still wasn't 100% confident with it. But soon I managed to work Photoshop well and think the digipack turned out well. To create the digipack, I had to crop and resize the images so they would fit into the designated spaces. I used tools such as Magic Wand tool to select and move certain aspects of the images. I also used the text tool to add writing to the front cover and back cover of the digipack. For the main heading on the front cover, I used a font of dafont.co.uk called Old Press. I selected this text because it wasn't perfect and looked a little like it had been stamped onto the page. I was looking for a unique text, as this text I was going to use all the time when I put the band's name on an ancillary project, like on the main header on their website. Overall, I felt the Web 2.0 technologies were easiest to use. This is because I was already aware of them and used many of them in my everyday life. This helped a lot when needing to present my work and gain much needed feedback. The hardest technology for me was the software Adobe Premiere Pro CS3 and Adobe Photoshop CS5. This was because I generally find editing software confusing and complicated, but I feel I created my project to the best of my ability and it turned out to look quite professional.